शुक्र मौला बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। या मौलाए मेहरबान तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी मौला। या मौला देख तेरे कैसे आशिकीन यहाँ पर जमा हुए हैं तेरे इल्म को सुनने के लिए, तेरे इल्म को समझने के लिए और तेरे इल्म के ऊपर अमल करने के लिए। कितना ज़ौक़ व शौक़ रखते हैं ये मौला। सारा दिन की मेहनत मुशक्क़त के बाद, दुआ पढ़ने के बाद आराम करने की बजाय तेरे इल्म की तरफ राग़िब हुए हैं मौला। या मौला हम पर रहम फरमा, करम कर मौला। या मौलाए ज़मान हमारे साथ रहना ताकि हम गरीब और लाचार तेरे इल्म का कुछ काम कर सके मौला। या मौलाए मेहरबान हमें तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी इनायत फरमा। तेरे ही मुबारक नाम से हम इस सेशन का आगाज़ करते हैं। नूर मौलाना शाह करीम अल हुसैनी हाज़िर इमाम। या मौलाए मेहरबान तू हमारे साथ रहना। या मौलाए मेहरबान तू हर हमेशा हमारे साथ रहना। तमाम साथियों को एक बार फिर या अली मदद। I'd like to thank the management, the admin to give this Garib or Nachis opportunity to come and talk to my brother and sister on this line. I know and I admit that I am Garib, poor, with a lot of shortcomings, but with your prayers, your well-wish, and with Imam's rahmat and mercy, inshallah, we will walk on this journey of the ilm. Arif Kamil Zaman had said beautifully, है दूर बहुत इल्मी सफ़र तेज चला चल, पुरअमन है ये राहें तेज चला चल. He's saying the journey of the Hakiki ilm is far and long, but it is very peaceful. It is very peaceful. So walk on the path of ilmi journey faster and faster, as fast as possible. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, we have taken this ilmi journey. Our subject for last couple of weeks has been Dasond, Male Wajbat. And we have received many questions. Many questions. And I'd like to thank everyone for sharing the question, and I'd like to thank Altaf for forwarding me those questions. So today's session, the entire session, we dedicate to you, to listeners. Because we cannot just come here and give a lecture and not handle your questions. We cannot just come over here and not tell you what you want to learn and the question that you have. So today's session is dedicated to you. to the listener, to the mu'mineen on this line. The very first question, I will read this question as it is written, and if there is any problem with the words or the question, we will try our best to correct them. Question number 1. I have one question about difficulty of regular proper Dasond amount. I never know the net income after some accounting is done of expenses, profits and loss and taxes. Also the income changes every now and then. So the net Dasond amount gets difficult. So I believe this gentleman, he has a business, and I understand in business sometimes it is hard to calculate our total income. If you remember one single principle, that अमाल का दारो मदार नियत पर है. Your actions are dependent on your niyat. If you understand this principle, कि हमारे अमाल का दारो मदार नियत पर है, and if your niyat, your intention is pure, as you mentioned in your question, that you do your best to calculate your income and then you give out your Dasond. There are 2 ways minimum to calculate our Dasond in business. If you take money for your personal use on daily, weekly or monthly basis, then whatever that amount is that you are taking out from your business for your personal use, consider that to be your income and give Dasond out of that money that you have taken home to your family. And then at the end of the quarter, end of the semi-yearly or end of the year, when you file your tax return, after all your expenses and your taxes has been paid, you would have a better idea, a better accounting and calculation on how much your actual net income was. At that time, if you have been writing down the monthly income or monthly amount that you've been withdrawing from your business, you would have a page, some kind of accounting system. You would know that you have paid Dasond on what amount already, and if you take that and subtract that from your annual income, you will be very, very close to your net income at that point, at the end of the year. And if that surplus surpasses your calculation of on the monthly basis, then you put more Dasond out of that amount. If it equal to that, then you don't have to worry about it. And if it was not as much as you thought it was, then Mola accept your extraordinary Dasond. You are one of the lucky one that you paid more than it was required for us on you. May Mola bless you for that, May Mola be happy with you for that, and may Mola give you more barakat in your income, in your rozi, in your food, in your family. Only remember one principle, it is the niyat that counts, not the money, but the niyat. Because your niyat is pure, then that is what Imam is looking at. Your heart and your niyat. May Mola bless you. This was a good question. I believe there are a lot of people on this line who run businesses, and this will help everyone. Not only you, but everyone. Good question. Question number 2. My purpose is not and give my some money from the pay to pay house. Okay. She is asking, my husband is not an Ismaili, and I believe she does not have any income of her own. But let's say we're going to take 2 different scenarios. Let's take a spouse who is Ismaili and a spouse who is not Ismaili. And if she or he is receiving money from the other partner, you take that money and you take the Dasond out of that money. If you have no income other than that, that is only source of income that you receiving from your spouse who is not Ismaili, then that is your income. Consider that to be your income and take the Dasond from that money. Now let's talk about the other kind of couples. Still, one of your spouse is not Ismaili and one is Ismaili, but you also have an income. And he also gives you some money for household expenses. So what do? You count your income, and then top of that, you count the amount of the expenses that he gives to you. So you have 2 income. Your own income and the money that you receive from him. And you give the Dasond from both of that. The more sugar you put in, the more sweeter it will get. The more Dasond, male wajibat, you take out, the more barakat, more blessing you have from the Imam. So rather give more than less. Rather give more than less. Again, it is not about the money, but it is about the niyat. Your niyat should be that I wanted to eat as pure as possible, so I'm going to take out the Dasond from everything I can think of, and I will give the Dasond. I believe this answers your concern and your question about having a non-Ismaili spouse who gives some money for your household income. Question number 3. Yes, this is a kind of, let me see if I can use the proper words. A person is asking, are we giving Dasond so we will have more financial benefits and more income so we can get more rich? Dasond is not the purpose of getting rich, but receiving barakat. Look around you in your jamaat. Look around you in your family, in your friend circle. There are mu'mineen who give the son for their entire life and never get rich. They are always poor. But because they have taken the son out of their earning, their income, they are satisfied, they are peaceful, they are eating from the pure income, their family is eating from the pure income. They are not rich, but they are satisfied and peaceful. The son cannot be and should not be for the purpose of getting rich. That is the incorrect intention. Remember again the principle, amal ka daromadar niyat par hai. Your deeds depends on your intention. If your intention was to get rich, then the foundation is incorrect. That is not the way of thinking. The intention should be, Ya Mullah, this is your amanat that I have. I am honestly, with a good intention, wanted to take the part which you have given to me as a trust, as amanat, back to you. Mullah, bless me and purify my income, my rozi, my food, my family. It is for the barakat, not for the purpose of getting rich. Next question. And this question, there are two questions, question 1 and question 2. I'll read both together. My friend writes, I thought sadaqah is given after some musibat or mushkil asan has been resolved and we give sadaqah for the shukr guzari. Who do we give sadaqah to? Can we give sadaqah to family and other poor people? Two questions. Yes, my friend. Word sadaqah literally means that I will do this, Ya Mullah, if you do that for me. A conditional charity, that's what it's called. Sadaqah is a conditional charity. I'll give some example for better understanding. Ya Mullah Bapa, and this is upfront, niyat. Remember niyat, principle number 1. Upfront, niyat. Ya Mullah Bapa, I will do 40 days of tasbiyat. I will come to Jamaat Khana 40 days every day. I will clean the Jamaat Khana, vacuum the Jamaat Khana every day. I will do khidmat in Jamaat Khana every day if you do my mushkil asan for me. Do you see? Sadaqah was not necessary of the money. That was not necessary. You give something, in return you are asking for something. That is called sadaqah. Now come to monetary funds, money portion of it. You say, Mullah, I will help one poor family back home. I will help 10 children back home. I will help someone in my neighborhood. I will help someone in my community. I know some poor family members and friends. I will help them monetarily with money. Mola Bapa, my mushkil asan, please. So, again, Sadaqah is a conditional charity. It could be of a service, of a khidmat, of time, of knowledge, of money, funds, monetary. And you can give to anyone you want, or you can just put that money in Jamaat Khana as a Male Wajibat. It is entirely up to your niyat and up to your free will. Good question. Thank you. I hope this will help others understand this action. Next question. Okay. Do you give the Dasond if you are only getting a pension? And how about child support or benefit? Do I put the Dasond from that income? So two kind of income. Retirement income, government income, medical income, child support income, alimony income. If you remember from the last week, and what was that? If you are receiving any kind of income, it does not matter what is the name or the purpose it is. If you are receiving any income, regardless of the source, may it be from your work, from your retirement, from child support, from alimony, from government, and there is another question right underneath here. For the COVID, we all receive some kind of paycheck or a money from the government. Is that your income? Yes, it is. You receive some money? Yes. Will you use that money for your family and yourself? Yes. Then that is the income, and there is a Dasond due on that income. Don't worry about where this money is coming from. Income is the income, and income is the income, regardless of who is giving you, what is the source of it. Because it cannot be that because I work, I have an income. What about if I don't work, I'm retired and I have an income? What about I'm divorced and I get an alimony? What about if I get a child support? What about if I get a medical assistant? Housing, living due to the old age? That is all income. So I believe this mute this question. If you are receiving benefit, regardless of whatever that is your income, and Dasond is due on that income. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put a pause for a second. Sorry about that. Acha. So next question. Okay, this is from our parents, a very concerned parent. I believe we have answered this question in our previous session, but this is a good question, so we will take it again. How do we teach our grown-up children, and the word she used, how do we convince them to give the Dasond? I love our brother and sister dearly, and I see and I feel and I hear your concern. As all of us have grown-up children. So let's see what Mola Papa says about that. You tell them once, you tell them twice, you tell them thrice, and then leave them to themselves. Your job, your concern is correct and valid. As a parent, we worry for our children. Remember, they are grown up. There's a key there. They are grown up. They have their own income. They are self-sufficient. They are independent. You have taught them about Dasond. You have informed them about Male Wajibat. Let them make their own decision. They are responsible for their action and their soul. You have done your job when they were growing up, but now they are grown up. We are responsible for our action and our soul, and they are responsible for their action and their soul. We have told them once, we have told them twice and thrice. And what Mola Papa says? Leave them to themselves after that. So, concern is correct. Worry, don't worry about it. As a good parent, you have done your job, showing your concern and taught them when they were growing up. Okay, this question, it is a dual question, so I'd like to take this question one at a time. Okay, two questions together. You know how we go out for dinner with a family member, with friends, and they buy us dinner, lunch. Sometime for our birthday, they throw a party for us, they buy us gifts. We receive all kind of consideration on regular basis from our family members, the one who loves us, our friends who buy us lunch and dinner. There is two things you can do. First, if you feel that you are receiving something from somebody, regardless of family member, regardless of friend, if you are receiving something from somebody, and it doesn't matter if they are smiley or not smiley, your co-workers, your boss, your friends, your neighbor, regardless of they are smiley or not smiley, if you are receiving something and if you feel that this receiving, whatever that may be, lunch, dinner, gift, whatever, has a value, then I have seen our elders, our buzurg, our parents, they would have a small diary, a notebook, and they will write down, somebody bought me a lunch, the value was 10 rupiah. Somebody gave me a gift, the value was 20 rupiah. Somebody did me a favor, the value was 30 rupiah. Whatever that amount is. And they will calculate that every month, which is not much, right? You don't receive this consideration on daily basis. So at the end of the month, normally in our old days, before Chandrat, they will calculate and say, I have received 100 rupees worth of consideration. and they will put 12.5%, साढ़े 12 रुपया Dasond. Very simple. Our religion is not hard, not difficult to follow. It's easy to remember and easy to follow. If you feel that way, consider yourself a lucky person. Calculate that and give Dasond. May Mola give you more barakat and more barakat. It is your good niyat, your good intention and your good deed, and Mola will bless you for that. Good question, thank you. The second part of the question was, you know how we receive kharchi, pocket money from our husband, from our parents. We receive a pocket money. But that money has already been pure, already been given Dasond, right? Your parents have put Dasond, then they gave to you. Your husband had put Dasond, then gave to the wife. Or wife who's earning gave Dasond and gave to husband. What principle will apply to this one? You are responsible for your soul. If you receive the amount, regardless of that money already been given Dasond or not, if you receive the money, my humble suggestion to you would be, for the benefit of your soul, you take the Dasond from the money you received. Because your husband, your wife, your parents are not responsible for your soul. You are. You give Dasond from the amount that you have received as the pocket money or as an expense, and that answers your question. Alright, so these are all the questions. Ji, Altaf, do we have more questions online? These were all the questions that I received from last week's session. Hazri Ma'am. Yes, it is not about the Dasond, okay? It's about teaching and telling somebody. Remember, Imam's farman are wide and vast. So when Imam says you teach to someone, it doesn't mean that you are teaching one thing or the other. This is the totality of the farman. That if you are concerned about somebody, regardless of Dasond, their action, their deeds, or whatever, because they are grown up, they are independent, they are self-sufficient, then what can you do? What can you do? But to show your concern and teach them. Once, twice, thrice, and then leave them to themselves. That is what I'm saying. That because they are grown up, you have done your duty when they were children. You have done your part. You have shown your concern. And then you have told them once, twice, and thrice. You are no longer responsible, because everyone is responsible for their own soul. Thank you. Exactly. I think you just answered it, Altaf. Because the money that you don't receive, you cannot give the son, can you? Because once you graduate, once you start to work, then you will have an income from that consideration, and then you will give the son, right? G. There was one question here that I'm looking at on the selling of a house. I believe we did talk about this last week, but again, until the next question comes, if there is an equity and there was an income between your purchase price and your selling price of your house or anything that you sell, if you feel that you have received the income, what about your interest from your bank, your stock and bond income? Income is the income from selling or not selling, right? So if you sell your house and you have an income, then it is obligatory on you to calculate what was the income between your purchase price after paying all the expenses for your broker and your tax on the income. Whatever the income was left, that is your income, and it is obligatory on you to pay the son on that. Good question, thank you. Yes, I did, and thank you for reminding me. I truly appreciate that. Matter of fact, you had answered the question for me last week. Because by saying, and if you look at the Ginan closely, it says in a bracket. This is the son part, is in the bracket. So, let's take this question one step further in detail. Okay? Let's say that I agree with you for a minute. Not that I agree with you, but just let's say for the sake of argument, I agree with you that you made the promise in your womb. In mother's womb, you made a promise. Now, how would you count for this Hadith Sharif? There is no sin on children, on sleeping people, and the crazy, mad, out of mind people. Second proof that you did not make the promise in mother's womb. You did not. Second proof. Wherever you live in Europe, America, or in any country, including the third world country, if a child is less than, depending on the law, 16, 18, or 21 year of age, if he or she is less than that, would their signature, their guarantee will be accepted by anyone? If your answer is no, and I hope your answer is no, because they do not consider to be adult to make decision. The third proof. In mother's womb, a child is with the mineral soul and then the vegetative soul and then with the animal soul. The child does not have yet the rational soul or the human soul. How can a child promise something without having a rational soul or a human soul? That is not possible. Not possible. Do you see why I am very firm in my belief and in the knowledge and the ilm-e hakiki that a child, even after he is born, he cannot take a promise. Fourth and final proof, when a child go for bayat with mother, who is taking bayat for the child? Mother, not the child. Why? If a child can take an oath in the mother's womb, then he and she should be able to take oath when he or she is 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks old, when they go in front of Mukhi Sahib. Our tariqah sits on intellect, not on hocus pocus. Our tariqah sits on intellect. What does your intellect tell you? What does ilm-e hakiki tell you? A child cannot, does not, would not be able to take any kind of oath, bayah, in mother's womb, nor he can take an oath or bayah when he or she is week 2, 3, 4 old, even after they are born. Because not yet, they do not have a rational soul and the human soul which is required to make a decision, a promise, to take an oath. Does this explain, my brother? And I truly appreciate you by giving me this farman, because now I'm more convinced and more firm believed in this, what I'm saying. Ji. Okay. Once again, yes sir, sure. I love it when someone asks question. I'm never afraid of question, okay? So, my brother, first of all, what does your logic tells you? Can a child promise when he or she is with only mineral soul and vegetative soul in mother's womb? Does your logic tells you that is possible? That is the first question to you. You do not have to answer me. Okay, hold on. You don't have to answer me. Hold on. Okay. So I will reply to you in 2 different ways. If you believe that, I have no problem with that. If you believe that, I have no problem with it. I am convinced, not 99%, 100%, that that is not the case, it is not possible, and that is not true. Okay, I'm convinced. But if you believe that, I have no problem with that. Second answer to your question again. If you said the child is with Akle Kul, from the soul of Allah, I agree with you on the soul of Allah, but not Akle Kul. Okay? Our soul is from Nafsun Wahida, the universal soul, and the Ruh-e Ilahi, the Ruh of the Imam. And you can see that from Surah 4, Surah Nisa, ayat number 1, that we are all from one single soul. So yes, our soul is from universal soul. But if you understand the progression of the soul, the problem is not that where soul has come from. The problem is in the understanding. Where I see from, the soul, when it leaves the universal soul, and you will find ayat in the Quran. If you like, I can send that to you. Share your information with me. I will send that to you. It says that when our soul leaves the universal soul, उसको पस्सी में गिरा दिया जाता है. पस्सी में गिरा दिया जाता है क्या मतलब है? They have no knowledge of the batin. They do not have the power of the universal soul anymore, and they do not have any knowledge of any of that ilm when they were with universal soul. Up until that point, they did. But once they come on this side, they are gone through the progression steps of the soul. And for the benefit of all, the initial sperm from the father's back to the mother's womb only and only carries a mineral soul. Then that mineral soul progresses into vegetative soul, and that's how that one sperm so small which we cannot even see with our eyes, starts to grow due to the vegetative soul. And when that baby in mother's womb start to drink, start to eat the nutrition from the mother's blood and mother's body, and then only he or she receives the animal soul. But that animal soul is not completed until the baby is born on this side and drink more milk from mother's breast, and then that baby receives the complete animal soul, and that's how that baby start to make sound and start to move, because those two attributions are due to the animal soul. And then when the baby is 7, 8, 10 year old, sometime even later 15, 16, 17 year old, she still doesn't have a human soul yet, even though it looks like a human baby, right? Still that baby has not developed the rational soul, and the rational souls are developed on 3 levels again, and then he or she receives the human soul. How much more detail can I go to explain this? Tell me. You tell me, because I have Gnan in front of me, and to chutiya char kuna ni mar. That's the second part of it. I still don't see the word promise. I still don't see the anywhere that says. So, have you listened to the lecture, How Do We Come to This World? Do you remember that lecture? And this is to all of those who are concerned. I wanted to put this to rest once forever because it's just taking too much of our time. So, who has listened to the lecture, How We Have Come to This World with Our Free Will? Because that lecture explains this part. The vachan, the promise that we have taken, not in mother's womb again, my brother. The promise we have taken when we were living from the huzur of Allah in the shape of the particle, in the shape of the soul, before we were injected into mother's womb. There was a promise taken. There was a promise taken. And what was that promise? Does anyone on this line remember? Because we have talked about this so many times. There was a promise that we had taken before we left the the nafse kul, the universal soul, in the shape of the soul. Before we even get to the father's back, into the sperm, into the mother's womb. There are two kinds of womb. A physical womb of the mother, and there is the womb of the nafse kul. There are things that I am not able to say. If you understand my ishara, the symbol I'm giving you, that is that we live in the mother's womb, not the mother that gave you birth. The mother which is universal soul, and our father is universal intellect. I hope you are understanding my ishara, because there are things I cannot say. In that mother's womb, you had made a promise, and we had talked about this in 2 to 3 lectures on this very line. Okay? What I am telling you with complete conviction, with a complete understanding of the ilm of the Imam, there is no hocus pocus here, brother. I don't not know what others tells you. I don't know what level of understanding they have. I cannot speak for them. I cannot call them correct or incorrect. I cannot do any of that. But what I am saying, due to not having the complete understanding of the progress of the soul, and I know there was another lady who wanted to know about this too. My sister, respectfully, we need to listen to each one of those lectures carefully. If you do not have those lectures, give your information to Altaf, and Altaf will share those lectures, how we have come to this world, why we have come to this world, how we chose to come to this world, what was the promise taken in the womb of the mother nafse kul, not the physical mother, my brother and sister. That is not a correct understanding. That is not the true understanding. Thank you. Yes, the problem is the location, the place of the promise, the timing of the promise. But I believe today we have put this question to the rest. Inshallah, there is no more confusion. I did say what I could say. I could not say it anymore, because there are nazakate, delicacy, that one should not reveal, one should not talk about, because those are the intimate secrets of the creation and the Imam and his batin. So I said what I could say, and I believe this answers all of the questions. Ji. Ji, Yali Madad. Okay, let me say it one more time. Ji. I got it. My brothers and sisters, I dearly love you all, and with that, I want you to have a complete knowledge. There are some knowledge, some ilm of the Imam, which could be said in the words, but we must understand the symbols, the allegories, and the batin of those vocabulary which I am about to use. So you may have a complete understanding of this. There is a physical womb of the mother that you and I were born from. And there is the universal womb of the universal soul, which is our true mother at the level of our soul. Before we left the Nafs-e-Kul, the universal soul, we made the promise. Before we left, we made the promise. And I was asking Altaf and others to please listen to those lectures. There are 3 lectures on how we have come to this world. What was said and done before we come to this world, and why we have come to this world. And that will answer where the promise was made intellectually, knowingly, because if we say this was in the physical womb of the mother, then the issue and the problem with that is that there is at the lower level, there is no progression of the soul yet, and it cannot be intellectually done. So when Pir Sahib teaches us, he teaches us with the allegories and examples. But when our teachers and our lecturers and our ALWAAZ or whoever are delivering the lectures, if he or she does not understand the meaning, the batin, the real understanding of Pir's kalam, then the problem is that we are taking the examples and allegories and we are stuck with those. So I believe now everyone on this line hopefully understand that we are talking about 2 different worlds, 2 different wombs, and 2 different places where we had made the promise. Thank you. Ameen, 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 Ameen. Thank you, my sister, and thank you for giving me this Nachis and Garib a chance to speak again. Thank you. Yes, I will send it to you right after this session. I will. It's called, I will send it to you. It's very clearly tagged. Yes, yes. Again, let's refer that to Imam's Farman. And this was said in our previous first lecture of the Dasond. One time, no problem, one time, Imam had come to a small town in India, and Imam asked Mukhi Sahib, what are the concerns of the Jamaat? And Mukhi Sahib said, Mullah, the people in this valley, in this area of the India, are so poor that they have no money. They have no money. So Mullah said, do they eat? And that answers your question. Do they eat? If you are eating, then you have the money. If you are not eating, you don't have to worry about the son. Because Mola is Mehriban and Rahman and Rahim. He does not want anything from you. But if you are eating, then the son is wajib. Mullah is not going to come to your home like a tax collector. I wanted to give one more example that I had given when I was delivering a lecture in Pakistan. I want to give one more example. Let's say your daughter is working, okay? And she receives a check. I don't know which country she lives in, whatever currency she works in. Let's say in dollars. So she works $1,000 a week, but her boss takes away 25% of the tax from her check before she receives her paycheck every Friday. Can she go to him and say, Mr. Patrick, I cannot even feed my children on the money I make. Please do not take my tax. I will pay the tax when I have some money. Can she say that? Why? Thank you. That is a religious law. The religious tax is the son. No excuse. No excuse. Okay, then she should take that with the government of the country she lives in and say, if she lives in Canada, she should go to the government and say, I cannot feed my 3 children. Please stop taking my tax. If she can say that, she can say the same thing to Mullah Papa. My answer to her would be what Imam said. My answer to her would be what Imam said. If you are eating, give the son so he can give you barakat. Give the son so he can bless you with more rosy. Yes. The word is bulchuk. If you make a mistake, and because as a human, does not matter what we do, we are going to make mistake. Imam does not hold us for the quotation mistakes. Remember, there is unwillingly and unknowingly mistakes are made. So what Mukhi Sahib does in our favor, he says, Ya Mola Papa, this lady comes to me every day, every week, every month and give the son your male wajbat. If she had made a mistake, again quotation mistake, unknowingly, unwillingly, please do not hold that against her. That's what Mukhi Sahib Mukhianima is saying to us. I got it. So I'm going to repeat this question for our friends. If you are receiving the interest on the investment that you have put in your bank, in equity on the stocks and bonds, equity on the home, because people do not even understand what is halal and haram, and I'm going to take a couple of minutes to explain what is halal and haram. What you earn honestly is halal. If the money that you have invested, if that money is halal, then all the income out of that investment is halal. Example number 1. A person who steal, gamble, take money from poor, come to Jamaat Khana, stand in front of Mukhi Sahib and say, Mukhi Sahib, not 12.5%, but I'm going to give you 25% Dasond. make my money pure. Mukhi Sahib cannot make this money pure. Why? He gave the Dasond, didn't he? He gave the Dasond. How come the money is not pure? It is how you earn your income. If the money that you invested, may it be in a bank, stocks and bonds, in your home, in other properties, other way of earning your income. If that income is pure, then all the incomes from that income is pure. I'll give you second example. Okay? A person who earns the money honestly and earns the money with hard work, but does not give the Dasond. Even though he was earning it correctly and honestly, he did not do his second part by giving the Dasond. So now is that income pure? No. You see, it requires two hands. Honest earning, the Dasond. Both together makes your income pure. Does this answer your question? Very simple. The question my friend is asking, regardless of the country, if the business is a legal business, if you are doing the business honestly, if the same question, let's say someone in USA or European country has a cigarette shop, has a liquor shop, or has a grocery store with the beer and liquor or the cigarette in their shop. If they are doing their business legally, honestly, with the money which was earned honestly, then that income is a legal income, and that money that they take home is halal. Now you take the same example in other country, okay? Let's say in the Middle East, where alcohol sale is illegal, and Ismaili is doing their business in that country. Is their business legal? No. That makes the same income which was legal in European country now is illegal in Middle East. So what did we just learn? We learned, hold on, my sister, hold on. What we learned, if the business is a legal business, if you have earned the money honestly, you did not steal the money from anyone, you do not force anyone to buy cigarette or alcohol from you, and after your income, you honestly have gone to Jamaat Khana and gave your Dasond and made your legal, honest earning income a legal income. Then your income is halal. But now, let me complete my answer. Within the same shop, you start selling the cigarette and alcohol, which is legal in your country, to minor, to underage children, to already intoxicated people. Whatever the sale which was legal in your country, in your state, you just made that illegal by selling something to someone who was not legally was able to buy those items. So what did you do? You made your honest business, your halal business, haram. Do we see that? Our tariqah sits on intellect. Our tariqah sits on intellect, and our tariqah is very simple. We do not need to make it complicated. It's very simple. Think what is legal. Are you earning it honestly? If you are cheating, if you are making it yourself, the same income which could have been halal, if you make it haram, then that is haram. Otherwise, do a legal work. And let me remind you of Imam's Farman. Stay within the law of your country. Imam didn't say the law of America, law of Europe, law of Canada, law of Australia. What did Imam use the word? Legal in the country you live in. G. I believe I have given you complete answer from the Farman of the Imam-e-Zaman. Do what is legal in your country. G. Yes, you're welcome. And remember, we can talk about Shariat, we can talk about Tariqat, and we can talk about Hakikat. Since our tariqah we sits in the level of hakikat, what do we follow? We follow the farman of the Imam-e-Zaman, and we always try to do the best. What is legal, what is honest, and what is right. If in any of those areas, if we have a doubt, then what do? We refer back to the Imam's Farman. May it be of the current Imam or the previous Imam, we always stay within Imam's Farman. If there is a Farman of the Imam which prohibits us, which makes it illegal for us to sell anything which is legal in your country, then we need to revisit our talk and our lecture and our understanding. But until then, listen to what Imam says. He made it so clear to us. Do what is legal in your country. He did not say in Pakistan, in India, in America, in Europe. What did he say? Do what is legal in your country. G. Very good question. Very good question. And this may be concern for a lot of us who are living especially in the countries where our parents are living inheritance for us and buying things for us, expensive things like houses. Very good question. So my sister is asking, what about if I had received something in the past? Can I make up the Dasond for it? Amal ka daro madar niyat par hai. Today you made the intention to do the right thing. May Mola accept that right there. May Mola accept that. It is not about the money, but it is about niyat. May Mola accept your niyat. Second, start paying as you go. More is better. Third, in your will somewhere, leave it for your children, your brothers and sisters, for your family. That if I die, and when you sell this house, which was bought with your parents' money, please give 12.5% of the proceeding to Jamaat Khana. Write it down. Make a will. Do your part. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You make the niyat. You write it down. Remember niyat? Amal ka zaro madar niyat par hai. You do the niyat and you write it down. If you are so much worried that your family will not do that, then I'm going to tell you something I normally don't like to talk about that online. I don't like to talk about my family. But because you have warranted for me to tell you something personally, this is what my mother did. When she thought, when she was getting at that age, you know what she did? She sold everything. And she paid the Dasond with her own hand. And she distributed the money among the family with her own hand. She kept enough money in account, and she did what I was advising you to do. She left a will that even that I have put the Dasond out of all the assets I have, but when I die, whatever is left over, do two things. One, put more Dasond. Second, give all my money to charity. Nothing for children, nothing for grandchildren, because she have done that in her lifetime with her own hand. That is a great way. I think that was a great lesson for me, and this could be a great lesson for all of us. Hathe is sathe. But if you cannot do that, because you need your house to live in, you cannot do that. I understand that. You do the niyat, you leave the will, and your niyat and your deeds are with you. Your children, your family deed are with them. If they do it, good for them. If they don't do it, it is not on you. My sister, do not worry. No. Initial income is the lump sum, right, that you receive. That is the initial income. Because in property is a different case than a cash amount. So if your family leaves you, let's say $100 in cash, which you're going to invest, that's a future earning. Today the earning is $100, you take your Dasond and be done with it. Because what about that investment doesn't give you any earning? Your stock and bonds start to plunge in and you don't make it. You do your deed today. Today is better than tomorrow. Take the Dasond today, then invest the pure money, the money with the barakat. Invest that. And then if you earn anything, then you take the Dasond on that earning. Does that make it clear for you? Initial Dasond on the income that you receive from your inheritance. Second Dasond from the interest. जी बिल्कुल આપણા મઝહબમાં ઘણી ચીજો ફરજ છે જે કરવી જ જોઈએ જેવી રીતે દુઆ દસોન અને ચાંદરાતની મજલસ એના બારે જેટલી બી ચીજો છે ને એ બધી એક્સ્ટ્રા ઓર્ડિનરી સેવા છે અગર એ સેવા કરી શકો તો તમારા માટે સારું છે અગર તમે નથી કરી શકતા તો કોઈ ગુનો નથી તમારા માટે ફરજ નથી ને જે ફરજ નથી એ કરજ નથી તો જે કરજ નથી તો પછી તમને ચૂકવવાની જરૂર પણ નથી વેરી સિમ્પલ આન્સર થેન્ક યુ યસ યાલી મદદ very simple question, and I believe we have covered this question before. Was there income to you in which you paid the Dasond? Your answer is yes. Now, if your children are receiving income in inheritance from you, is there an income for them? Answer again is yes. You have done what you have done for your soul. They need to do something for their soul. And what is that? If they have received anything, regardless of the name, you can call it inheritance, property, income, government help, doesn't matter what is the name of it. Yes, they need to pay the Dasond on the money, income they have received after you, for their soul, for the benefit of the barakat. Very good question. And Altaf, let's make this the last question. So let me answer this very last question. And then whatever question you have, please send it to Altaf. We will answer them in our next class. So my sister, I believe this answer half was already answered earlier about the children and convincing them. You do not need to convince them. Second, they are absolutely right. Imam does not need your money. Imam is not forcing you to give the son. Imam will never call you or send you email a due notice that, hey, my son, you forgot to give me my share of what I have given to you as a trust. You did not return back to me. You are due this much the son. He will never going to claim the money that you refuse to give to him. Imam is Rahman and Rahim. He will continue to bless you. But if you want more blessing, if you want more higher ranking for your soul, if you wanted to do good by your soul, if you wanted to drink a sweet sherbet, then you need to do your part. Do not betray the trust of the Imam on you. Imam has given you something, he has trusted you with something, and you must return the trust back to him. That's why it's called faraz. But if you don't give, Mullah is Rahman and Rahim is going to keep blessing you. And he's never going to call you and demand you to give him the son. It is between you and your Imam. If you do it, it's good for your soul, it's better for your soul, more sugar for your sharbat. Ji. Thank you very much everybody again. May Mola bless all of you. Continue to pray for this Garib and Nachis. Yali Madad everybody. Thank you. Yali Madad.